Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking into buying a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That's me, along with Barry the Boater, Captain Patrick, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew. We are here to navigate the latest boating news and information and remind you, 'tis the season to give the gift of boating. Don't forget, it's always the right color, right size, and it'll keep on giving for years to come. Whether it's a ride on your own personal vessel, or maybe it's a boating course or something like that. But sometimes, we just have to throw that out there at this time of year because people kind of go, oh, I should have got them a boating thing, even if they're not a boater. Barry, you're with me on that, right?
Oh, yeah. A cross member for a trailer would help, too.
Okay. Barry's already putting out his own personal list for people to oblige him with, I guess. All right. So, yeah, it is the season to look out for yourself some, too, I guess. So, make the best of it. All right. Now, a lot of stuff in the news. Cruising things going on big time. Coming up a little bit later on, we are going to talk about the Boat of the Year, or several finalists for Boat of the Year. Also, some cool boating gifts that you might want to get the boater on your list. I don't know if what it was, a cross-trailer thing.
We talked about it earlier this summer. How
you still haven't got that for yourself yet? You're waiting for some slub to buy this for you for the holidays? Come on, Barry.
Do it.
Barry currently is, because he couldn't get one. He's actually in the middle of constructing a forge.
Yeah.
In his backyard, mining the ore, and he is going to totally man this thing up. He is going to show these trailer manufacturers how it's done. He's doing it literally from the ground up.
Okay.
Way to go, Barry.
So a little bit later on, the worst boating gifts that you can get for the boater on your list. It's what it sounds like to me, as opposed to the best. Okay, but hopefully that thing Barry's talking about isn't going to make it. All right, but let's get to the story that's on everybody's mind. There's been a couple cruise ship stories happen where some lady was evidently killed by a rogue wave out, was it Antarctica or something, on a cruise ship, and it busted through the windows. That was kind of freaky. And
Alaska, but you're close.
Okay,
Not.
Well, whatever. One of the poles. I don't know if it was the north one, but whatever. She didn't do too well. And then this other guy falls off a boat earlier in the week, spends 20 hours at sea and survives.
Wow.
And I'm like, that is nuts. And, he was interviewed this week. You might have seen the interviews. And whether he fell off because he was drunk, who knows? He says he wasn't. But it's a kind of a crazy story, not just the fact that he fell off a cruise ship, but that he survived 20 hours at sea. I mean, and it made me think, like, gosh, what if this happened to you? I mean, we're always talking about, boaters wearing their PFDs, you're on your personal watercraft, like Barry or something. And that's one of the reasons you wear these. But, if you're on a passenger vessel and you're not required to wear one.
Really dorky.
Yeah, well,
cruise ship,
well, exactly.
Walking around with a PFD.
That would not be fashionably accepted on a cruise ship. But how do you do this? How do you survive at sea for 20 hours? This guy is so lucky to be alive, and he'd be the first one to admit it. And that's basically what he said, on his interviews. Patrick, what do you think?
Well, this is one of those rare instances where we're doing a story that Greg actually has more experience and knowledge than the rest of us, and that's because it involves a cruise ship.
And being in the water? I mean, because I'm a scuba diver?
No, just because it involves a cruise ship. So I have a cruise ship because you've spent more time than any of us on a cruise ship. My time being 0.
Okay.
Is it possible? Listen to the question I'm asking.
Yeah.
Is it actually possible to fall off a cruise ship? That's the question, because I don't think it's possible for you to fall off without you intentionally doing something to the point where you have overcome the safety barriers that they put in place and you have made a decision, conscious or not, to Geronimo.
No, is it possible? Yes, absolutely. It's possible. It's possible to fall off any kind of vessel. I mean, is it likely? No. But could you trip and fall over the side of a cruise ship? Absolutely, Patrick. It's
Holy crap, man. Those things are floating death traps.
okay.
No, they
But
aren't.
regardless, what about the guy at sea spending 20 hours after he falls off this thing? He says he woke up, that he was unconscious, and he woke up in the water. That's the first memory he has. He doesn't remember falling off or anything like that. But he woke up and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm in the water. And now what do I do?" And, and it's like, golly. I mean, that's a freaky thing. Now I did look it up. I Googled it, and here I found some interesting tips that if you were to fall overboard, what you should do if your vessel you fell off of is nowhere in sight. I mean, if you were lucky enough to survive the fall, but you find yourself floating, endlessly in the sea, what should you do? So, I mean, if you have pants, I guess you take them off and fill them full of air. That's kind of like a Boy Scout kind of thing, right? Tie off the legs and then try to use them as a buoyancy compensator kind of thing. Patrick, what do you think? You've heard that. Being your Eagle Scout self kind of guy.
Yeah, that's correct. That's one of those things that you would do. But I think it's more productive that if you have set up your house to play a song so that when you fall into water, you can text your alarm system at your house that will alert everybody that you have fallen into the water. It's a special song that will annoy the living daylights out of anyone who's in your house, and they'll then know that you're in distress in the water because of this safety feature that you've set up on your smartphone. And if you think that's a stretch, we did a story about
months
a guy
ago
who did that very thing.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, that's that's part of your float plan. But if you're not prepared
No,
for
it's
anything
not.
like that,
Don't do that. Do not do that.
well, that's what his thing was. He set it up as his float
'Cause
plan.
he's a moron.
Well, hey, it's something.
It
But
worked, though,
what if
didn't
you
it?
fall in the water? What should you do? And well, obviously you don't drink the seawater because it'll make you sick. But they say if you have anything clothes wise that'll hold water, float it on the top and try to collect rainwater so you have something to drink. Which is
they tell you to
Stick
keep
with beer.
all your clothes,
Beer,
but I would
exactly.
think if it gets too waterlogged, it might drag you down.
Okay, can we get this?
all
can
right.
we-
Food. If you
okay.
need food, look for floating debris because fish could be under the floating debris.
Or anything
like
that the ship dumped while it left you
Yeah,
behind.
that cruise ship just emptied its waste tank.
Well,
Hey!
this guy was not gnawing
that a
on
Snickers bar?
bamboo. Did you hear it? In the interview? The guy said he was gnawing on bamboo to get some sustenance. Substance? Yeah, that.
Bamboo in the middle of the Gulf?
Yeah, he said he found a piece of bamboo and started chewing on it, and it gave him
And
that
some
was
where
from
kind
they
of.
found all
Gilligan.
that's where they found all the voting machines too.
That's from Gilligan's Island or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One of his.
One of the things on Google it says too is relax, try not to panic, and look for familiar shapes in the clouds to ease boredom, and that also help you, keep an eye out for planes and things. So these are, I mean, it's something. I mean, I never
Go-
really thought about this.
because you're a rational human being and you've spent enough time on boats and on that, not cruise ships per se, but you spend enough time on boats, dive charters and things like that, and you're aware of the safety precautions that are taken, and you haven't fallen from like coming off of a 19-story building and impacting the water and lose consciousness and drown. So in a recreational sense, if I'm on my own personal boat or I'm on a friend's boat, Mike told the story, of course, about his dad, how they thought they lost him, but they didn't because he went down in the cabin. He was sleeping, but they thought he was gone because, hey, where'd Dad go? I don't know. He went somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
But, the fact of the matter is, I think most of us in this group right here and those that are listening, if certainly you're out on the boat by yourself, you've taken precautions to keep things like that from happening. You're transiting. I've told this when I'm moving boats by myself, boats and yachts. I have precautions that I take. Okay. Safety lanyard is one. PFD is another one because God forbid something happens, I go in the water.
And you don't panic. That's another one too. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Be an explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Even Keatley wasn't ready for me, or anything that followed. Chased by a police department, led by his ex-girlfriend, and hunted by brain fork-wielding Fijian assassins, it's everything he can do to keep from getting locked up, killed, or worse. Kava Screw is available as an ebook for $2.99 at Amazon.com. Kava Screw. Put a brain fork in him. He's done.
You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Here you go, man. Merry Christmas.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in the one-horse open sleigh.
What's the matter with him? The jingle bells got him. They're jingling all the way. Look at that. Oh,
this is the world of boating. Greg, your first mate, Barry the boater, Captain Patrick, Mike the mariner, rounding out the crew for this holiday season. We got a bunch of crazy music like that to play for everybody for the season, and we apologize in advance because it's only going to get worse as the season progresses. All right, so if you fall overboard, whether it's off a cruise ship or your own boat, don't panic. Look at the clouds. That'll help you pass the time. They found this guy, by the way, after 20 hours floating in the sea after he fell off the cruise ship, and he was naked. He'd taken off all his clothes, and I guess that was I think I heard him say that was the first thing he said to his rescuer from the Coast Guard. Hey, dude, I'm naked. He's like, so don't worry about it. Just get in the basket or hold on to this. I was like, would that be the first thing you'd say to your rescuer? Hey, by the way, I'm naked.
No.
That
would not be the first.
I have a solution next time you go cruising.
Okay, what, Barry?
I'm going to start this new thing. It's called Barry's Hardtack, Emergency Hardtack Ration. Everyone should carry one of these when they go on a cruise, and it'll be zipped up in a Ziploc bag.
And here I thought it was
fall over. You could chew on that.
I thought it was Barry's pet rock.
The great thing
hard
is
as a rock. Yeah.
The great thing is they double as ballast and Christmas ornaments.
Right. Okay. Well, there you go. So hardtack, the pirates' food of choice. Maybe just people think it's like a pet rock. I guess you could pull that off in your pocket. There, Lucky Rock.
That one is that one's from 2008. It's still in its Ziploc bag. I'll be glad to send you one, and you can gnaw on it with your gums.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. All right.
Of the year. Of the year.
Yeah, that's what we're going for next.
Okay.
We told people how to survive if they're lost at sea. Now, let's say they can maintain their presence on their vessel, and they want a new one. What would be the best one to get this year? According to Boating Magazine, they've narrowed it down to what, 5 or so? How many do we have, Patrick?
5.
Okay. So first off, do you agree with their list of these 5 boats, Patrick?
I do not. Shocker.
Yeah, that is surprising to hear, huh? Yeah.
Well, as Patrick names each one, I'll show a picture of it.
Okay.
We're
Which you
ready
can
to go
watch
through-
on
and
Facebook,
these are all on
YouTube.
And these are all on the World of
Twitch.
Boating Facebook page. They're on the World of Boating website. So if you haven't checked us out, if we're not in your web browser as your go-to boating source, do it. Do it now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First up, the Malibu Wakesetter 21LX.
All right.
Second up is the Taiga Orca PWC.
Well, you're going faster than me.
Yeah, really.
Well, because I know we got limited time and we want to talk a lot about these.
Okay.
There we go.
So this is a personal watercraft, like a jet ski,
But
electric powered.
It's the world's first electric powered PWC.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's kind of cool.
Up after that is the Scarab 285, which of course is a jet boat. This is offering 600 horsepower.
Nice.
Up after that, I
his
can't
favorite boat.
I can't believe this thing made the list.
I can't believe it either. I saw this. I started
Holy
laughing.
crap! The Sea-Doo Switch, which is the transformer type pontoon boat.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
man.
made by Lego.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
made
much.
by-
Well, after Barry and I went on one last year or earlier this year at Miami.
Yeah.
And the last one is the Solus 415 CS, which I've got some concerns about that boat. And here's my thing, Greg.
Mhm.
They Boating Magazine said they reviewed like hundreds, nearly however many it was, hundreds of boats this year that they've tested, and these are the 5. And I have never been so underwhelmed by Boating Magazine's selections because I'm not seeing. There's one in that list that's intriguing. I don't think it's going to win, but I think it would be the one that I would pick. But I just don't see anything there that was like, wow, really anything that kind of grabbed me and said that is worthy of Boat of the Year. Unlike what we had last 2 years, which last year Barry won. The year before that, I think we were multiple, weren't we, on the 2 year? So this has become a tradition. So Barry, since you won last year,
Right.
you get to pick last.
Oh, thanks. Okay. That's okay. I'll pick this. If you happen to pick my favorite, then you're just think like me. That's all.
All right.
There we go. So let's start off with Greg. Greg, you got one?
It's a toss up. I like the electric personal watercraft idea. But what was the first one again? Was
the Malibu Wakesetter 21LX.
Yeah, that one was pretty nice. But I like it would probably be between that one and the Scarab. Because the Scarab was
well, now
just
you're
more
down to
powerful.
3. You got the PWC, the Scarab.
Well, I'm telling you what I'm
He
thinking.
doesn't understand the rules here, does he?
No, I do. But I'll tell you the problem.
he's-
The problem with this is that they're such different vessels.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say this is the boat of the year, especially when it's a personal watercraft. I don't really get how the jet ski thing kind of made it in there, because I don't consider that a boat. But
Greg is
I do
loaded
think
to
it's
seal that
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Greg has picked 3
All right.
as Boat of the Year. So moving on to Mike.
Yeah. All right. I'm really interested in the Solus 415.
Oh,
Really, the last one.
I love it. No,
I
it's
hate
really cool because here's the thing. They're maximizing diesel technology, which I'm a big fan of.
Ah, that's what it was.
And this design also incorporates the ability to add an electric motor into the drive system as a backup motor or a trolling motor to turn the boat essentially into a hybrid. But you're not married to the batteries. I'm not there yet, full electric. My brain just can't take me there. But this is a great compromise, and it's a boat that you can do a lot with.
Well, here's why I think it won't win, because they won 3 years ago for the Solus when they came out. That one that's got that transom between the 2 outboard engines extension.
Yes, I remember
so
that.
I don't think they're going to win because they already won. And the only issue that I have with this boat is that platform as that picture showing that boat at idle, is so close to the water that I couldn't imagine that boat getting up on top, how that thing is not dragging, unless they've got some incredible lift planing technology. That's a concern on those big extended platforms like that. That one is really, really close.
Yeah, well, it could have some buoyancy below it.
It could.
And it's diesel, so he's certainly not going to have problems with torque.
Nope.
Getting up and running. So,
all right.
I don't know. Really cool boat.
Yep. I don't disagree. My pick is the electric Sea-Doo. Not Sea-Doo, the electric jet ski.
But it's not a boat.
It's a watercraft, Greg. All right. Do not go against the power of Boating Magazine. They are all knowing.
I am going to submit a objection due to the weird criteria that they've come up with for this, and we'll discuss it some more next on the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
What do you get the person who has everything already, huh? I can only think of one thing. A friggin' yacht!
So we can have parties on there?
Well, it's gonna be kind of hard to do that after I do this.
Merry Christmas!
Ho, 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 ho! Wait, where are you guys going?
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day,
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. Captain Patrick, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew as we navigate the latest boating news and information and talk about the top 5 finalists for Boat of the Year according to Boating Magazine. Do we agree with them? Not necessarily, but here's the 5 we have to work with. An electric personal watercraft that Patrick thinks is the best. Mike the Mariner believes it's what was the name of that diesel vessel again? What's the model?
The Solus 415.
Okay, and that's a diesel powered yacht.
Diesel hybrid.
Yatchet.
Diesel and can be a hybrid.
I like it. I'm leaning towards the Scarab, I think, just because I think it was more powerful than the other one. And so we've done our 3. And Barry, he won the best boat winner for last year. He picked it. And so what is your final pick there, Barry? What do you think?
I think Mike and I are both going to win this year. I believe it is also the Solus.
Interesting.
Now, I did have one issue, and I agree with Patrick about that rear deck. I was looking as, man, that's great for diving or doing anything else, but I keep thinking about waves, hitting the transom. There is no transom.
Yeah, lays flat on the water, yeah.
But there's a lot going for this boat that you don't see in this picture. If you look carefully at those, just remember where those seats are back there, and you notice that the cabin in that area is enclosed for inclement weather.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So I brought up some more pictures.
Well,
it's an
hold on.
Well, let him go. Let him go. Go ahead. Get his point across. What is it, Barry?
Wait. Okay. Go ahead, Patrick. Go.
That helm station is not enclosed.
Semi-enclosed.
It's semi-enclosed.
All right, go ahead, Barry.
Better
what?
than me.
But what was your other point?
You can enclose it with isinglass.
Right.
Well, there.
So it's got an all-glass cockpit.
Yeah.
All the latest electronics. I know Patrick's been interested in these.
All right.
And it's nice. The bow, it is a bow rider, and the way they put these seats in, it's going to be hard to lose your passengers because they're really sunken in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a bow rider.
Okay.
Now
So
remember that
like
seat in the back that
seats.
looked like a nice. That's where the engines are located. Look at these two beautiful diesels, and that cover lifts right up for easy access to the engines.
So the engine cover is the seats that are on the back of the
Those
transom?
seats on the back of the by the in front of the transom.
Right.
But
okay.
if you look back at the other picture, you could see that it looked
So
like
you just
one of
like
those-
the layout of the whole thing.
and it also has a cabin.
Okay. Yeah.
There's actually a cabin inside there, so it isn't. It's not just a day boat. It's a boat you can go over to the islands with. It carries 444 gallons of fuel. Easily go over to Bimini and back without a problem. Probably go to the Grand Bahamas at this point. It is diesel, so it's not going to be speedy like your 600 horsepower Scarab, and it's not going to be as bouncy as Patrick's little Sea-Doo, or not Sea-Doo, but a personal watercraft.
It's definitely more of a traditionally, layout for a boat, I would say. Just when you look at it, first glance, is it going to go like, oh, well, what the hell was that? It looks very boat-like, very typical boat style.
Except for the transom.
Okay.
There is no transom. And I keep thinking, you talk about rogue waves. You're sitting out at anchor, and all of a sudden this big wave comes up your stern, and it just kind of swamps it. But I'm sure somewhere along the way, they've got this thing sealed up tight so it doesn't just sink into that. Well, you would hope.
And to that point, I'm hoping, because when I saw the way that you get access to the engines, I'm going to assume that there's a larger engine hatch there. It's a modular piece that can be removed, because your access to the engines for checking your basic oil and things like that, great. But for getting in there and actually doing any type of work, no. But to your point, with that open transom, even with the doors back there, which are required to have for safety, so that, the only way you're going to fall overboard on that boat is to climb over the door, obviously. Great.
It could happen, but we already covered that base. We told them what to do if they fall overboard and get stranded at sea. Now our passengers know.
Okay.
But as low an opening as it is to those engines, I would be concerned about water coming into that cockpit, which I'm sure is self-bailing. But I see the tendency for that water to defeat the height of that engine access, and what that means for exposure to the elements. You need to stay on top of your maintenance, especially the salt corrosion on a boat with a setup like that, just because of where those engines are located, where they are in relation to the height of the water, and water, the potential to come into that cockpit, whether it's wake wash as you're coming off the plane, because that boat will get up and move. And I think you're burning like about 1.25 miles per gallon at about 41 miles an hour. So you've got great range, but the center helm market is saturated at this point, and you really got to have something that is, for me, that nobody has done yet to really kind of take over, and I just didn't see it in that boat. Not saying it's not a nice boat, but they did win a few years ago, so I think that that'll put them out of the
What's turning heads so much on this vessel? Is it the diesel hybrid technology that's built into it? Or is that what sets it apart? Or is it the layout? Because the layout looks pretty traditional to me. It doesn't look anything super special as far as how it's laid out. You
Well,
think?
I mean, how many different ways can you lay out a boat?
Well, exactly.
It is, but it would be interesting if that deck on the aft end actually folded up, if it had some motors to fold it up.
Well, okay, I get that.
So that
but,
way you wouldn't just walk off the boat and end up in the ocean.
well, right.
somewhere.
But Patrick, answer my question about that. Though.
Yes, sir.
Is it the hybrid diesel technology is why it's creating such a buzz and got to this level again this year? Or
I
what
feel
do
like
you
I'm being
think?
cross-examined. No, I don't think. Again, as we get into the diesel, the hybrid, the electric power bank systems, things like that, these are all going to be really kind of becoming commonplace. Digital switching, everything like that. I think it's probably more a boat in that size range for somebody who wants to go out and do, whether it's go out and fish or you want to go out and cruise. You do have some performance characteristics there that are pretty nice for a boat that size. So I think performance end of things, you've got a nice package there. Again, for me, if I'm looking at a boat that size and I'm looking at a center helm, I'm probably really opting for outboards at that point, just because of the maintenance aspect, the ability to trim them up out of the water and not have to worry about.
Yeah, Mike.
This is a jack drive. This is a jack drive, though, isn't it? So it
it says it's a Volvo Penta's Aquamatic diesel, whatever.
It's a jack shaft.
Yeah, so it's got an outdrive.
Okay.
Well, so it has a drive shaft going to an outdrive, so you can trim it.
There you go.
I don't know.
I didn't say you couldn't. What I was talking about as outboards is the ability to trim outboards completely up out of the water, and not have to worry about the maintenance aspect of that versus something like this where you still have things going through the transom maintenance that boat's going to have to be hauled every year and things checked. And I thought the industry as a whole was starting to move kind of more away from that, where we've really seen on the industry side of things, traditional IO manufacturers, Volvo Penta, Mercruiser, are losing market share on boats like this to the outboard manufacturers. Now, for Mercury, it doesn't matter a whole lot because they've got Mercury. They're all part of Brunswick. For Volvo Penta, who opted to get out of outboards after buying Seven Marine, it's really taking a bite out of their market share.
Okay, well, that sounds good. We got more coming up on this and then some on the World of Boating. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I think it's important that all the children out there believe in the magic of Satan.
That's Santa. Typo.
Santa got a sunburn, Santa got a sunburn, that's why he's all red. He took off the suit and his big black boots and even the cap on his head.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate, Captain Patrick, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew. Happy holidays to you. Remember, give the gift of boating. That's the gift that keeps on giving. Perfect size. Right color every single time. Boating course, just take them out on a ride on your vessel. It'll change their life. Or Patrick, what?
Or a free subscription to World of Boating.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, tell them it costs millions, which, technically it kind of does.
Listen, the production value you put into this show, I would never believe that, but...
Well, thank you, I think. Anyway... Care to clarify why you picked the personal watercraft as the best boat of the year, Patrick? Because that was your pick.
For me, I think for a consumer standpoint, I think as everything, we're seeing that transition more and more to electric. This is the world's first. Okay, it's the first electric PWC, and I think that alone, the fact that you had a company out there that managed to figure out how to make this work on a PWC, personal watercraft, jet ski type vessel, is in of itself worthy of getting that award, because none of these other boats is like, this is the first one. It's all technology that's out there. There's nothing on these other boats that was really like, wow, that's great. Like, nobody's done that yet. this is the very first one. And I think this opens up that whole segment moving forward to more electrification of that type of market. And the fact that it's a carbon fiber construction, I think
Pricey.
is,
I would imagine, yeah.
but I think that's noteworthy because we're not doing stuff out of plastics, stamping molds out, nothing against Sea-Doo, and a couple of their models that are heavily done that way. So we've got a vessel there that's not going to be cheaply made. It's being made for the long haul. And I think that it's going to maybe interest some people that would like to do that type of activity, especially in the backwaters. You know, we're not talking about people who go out and want to spin around in 360s and wave jump. We're talking about people who use a PWC like that to get back into these some of these areas that you can't access unless you're in a canoe or a kayak or a paddleboard, something like that, and not harm the environment. You're not putting anything out there contaminant-wise as you get back into these areas. I really like it. It's innovative. It's new. I'm excited by it.
Who makes it?
That.
What's the brand?
That's Taiga. Taiga.
And what's the price tag, Barry? Do we know what they think they're going to be asking for this?
Yeah. I was just go ahead.
I was just going to say I just found it. They're starting at 17,490. 17,490.
Not bad.
That is not bad. I was actually pleasantly surprised by.
Well, no. Wait a minute. I have it here. It says 26,500.
Well,
Wait a
they
minute.
start at 17,490, and then you add options or you upgrade to a different battery.
Like
or
a battery? Here's an option.
You have to get a trailer with a cross member, Barry. That's $5,000 right there.
Yeah. Don't tell me about that.
But a pretty well equipped, gas powered PWC is around the 10 to 12 grand range, isn't it?
Little tiny, a Sea-Doo Spark maybe.
Well, how big is this one? Is this one a big one, like a big wave
This
runner
is
type of?
9 foot 6 inches. Beam is 3 foot 9 inches. It weighs 738 pounds. It has a range of 28 miles and storage.
Essentially
capacity.
a two-seater. See, that right there is the huge limitation. 28 miles. That's nothing.
But on a PWC, Mike, most people aren't going out and doing
they go out
28
for,
miles. They're going to go out. They're going to cruise around. They want to have fun for an hour, and come back in. And that's the same thing that we found with the wakeboard boats, the Ingenuity from Correct Craft, where you're going to go out. Most people after an hour, you're done because your arms can't take anymore. Your legs are giving out.
Okay, so there is a group of PWC riders that will ride that way, but on the St. Johns River, I see groups, and I mean large numbers of groups that go from Sanford to Silver Glen and back, or from the land to Silver Glen and back, and that's way more than 28 miles. They're even carrying extra gas tanks on their.
Okay, but this particular vessel, this is the beginning. That's why I'm excited. So all they're going to be able to do from here going forward is create better product in this type of market, this segment, with increased range. But you got to start somewhere.
Right. But I'll just make this point. From here to the restaurant that I go to on a regular basis is 12 miles each way.
Okay, so that's 24 miles.
So that one trip would be at the ragged edge of this boat's performance envelope, and it's a 1 hour trip up and back.
Yeah.
No. Well,
40 minutes on this thing.
The top speed on this thing is 65 miles an hour, which is scary on a 9 foot boat.
Yeah. But I think before I could throw my support behind this as boat of the year, they would have to severely increase their battery capacity.
I'm with Mike on this.
That's a big limit.
But I'll tell you, I go back to the initial question I had about it. It's not a boat. I don't see how it makes the list, honestly. It's a personal watercraft. I look at that as a totally different category. I mean, you can only take one other person with you, really, maybe two if you're taking kids or something.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, your little chase boat that you have, is that considered a boat?
It is considered a boat.
How many people can you take on it?
Two people.
Oh my God!
They don't call it a personal watercraft, though. They call it a boat. It's more of a traditional boat. This is really isn't like a traditional boat.
It has navigation lights.
It's two pontoons with a cross member. What are you kidding me?
It's a little bit more than that, but
it's a boat, though. It's more of a traditional type boat. A personal watercraft
the
is not.
PWC looks more like a boat than Mike's.
Incorrect. Looks more. Mike's boat looks more like a pontoon type vessel.
Do they all require Coast Guard numbers or
yes,
state
they
numbers
do,
on them?
Barry.
Yes, they do. Therefore, they are a boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
But even the Craig Cat has the Coast Guard, the navigation lights and everything. So.
Yeah. Okay. But so you guys don't see my question about this. You don't think that's valid, that it doesn't really count, shouldn't be in the same category as boat of the year? Should be personal watercraft of the year.
Oh, stop it.
What? I'm serious. It should
you also
be.
said people can trip and fall off of cruise ships.
Yeah, they did it twice this week, so it happens. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Mike, what do you think? I mean, these two numbskulls don't agree with me.
Answered.
Do you think
trying to get them to go against us?
No, I'm asking them. Do you think it should be in the same category as boat of the year, the personal watercraft? It's too different than the other four, I think.
I think, in my opinion, I would like to see a personal watercraft
category.
Of the year category.
Yeah,
because I think I do enjoy them. I ride them every once in a while. I have friends that have a couple of them, and they are fun.
Yep.
And the innovation on that particular category has really just blossomed over the last several years with propulsion and various technologies to increase speed and efficiency and all that. So
I think they picked the right personal watercraft to call it vessel of the year. But if that was out of there, of the other four, is there one you would pick, Patrick, or no? You got 10 seconds to tell us.
No.
Okay, figured.
I like I said, I was pretty well underwhelmed. For all the boats that came out this year, all the new boats, there are ones. And here's something if you guys want to do before the end of the year.
I said 10 seconds.
Review what came out this past year and give us your pick for boat of the year. Your own personal, any new boat for this past year, what you think is worthy.
Okay, and on that note, remember, whether it's sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Come back here, you barnacle-bitten swab.
World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.